Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to start off today with a little passage from one of my favorite philosophers. Notice that the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or willow survives by bending with the wind. And that little ditty's from Mr. Bruce Lee. There was a lot of wisdom in him. He wasn't just this martial artist that made kung fu movies or whatever. He had a lot of good stuff to say, and I enjoy reading him from time to time. Mostly quotes. Haven't read any, longer books or passages on him in a while. But anyhow, it got me thinking, I was thinking about bamboo. I've been thinking about bamboo recently. There's a little patch of bamboo close to my house here, and I pass by it every time when I'm going to the store. And I was thinking about last September when I was staying in this little cabin in the jungle. Real little rustic cabin in the jungle. Had a little porch on the back with a hammock and just a whole ton of bamboo out there. And the energy was amazing. But we'll talk about the energy of bamboo perhaps at another time. Today we're just talking about the flexibility of bamboo and how it's a good thing to be flexible in our lives, and flexible more so up here. Hey, like for the very literal people out there, I'm sure somebody will come up with a reason why you shouldn't be flexible. Now, I guess I'll have to explain down to the nth detail. I'm not talking about being flexible to the point of you're just willy-nilly and you eat everything if we're talking about food, but flexible in your approach, flexible in having an open mind, flexible to be able to take in new information as it comes to you. So many people get in different things in life. It's not just the food, but especially in this raw vegan world, in the high carb vegan world, I've just noticed over these last few years that everybody is so dogmatic and everybody wants to be in a category, everybody wants to be in a group, and it's pretty much like fanatic religion to like the way that people cling to that. It's like, what am I trying to say here? It's become like a kind of a playing a game. You're playing by the rules and you want to be the best at it versus, doing whatever is best for your health. Me, I'm always going to be a seeker. Maybe I'm a little too curious. Maybe I have too much time on my hands, being here by myself and not being in a family situation and not being around people a lot. Maybe my mind just, I think about things too much, but I enjoy that. And I've just, I want to say I've always been like this to a certain extent. I was never that super stubborn person, but I'd say in the last 10 years that I've really, kind of locked more into this way of looking at things and not be so rigid, which is probably one of the reasons why, even though at the time, even though I was a drunk for a lot of years, I was able to somehow, there was something that just like pulled me out of that and wanted me to do different, wanted me to do something else. But I don't know. I mean, I've pretty much, I haven't made a lot of radical changes as I've been on this lifestyle. I kind of like to think of that as the tree. I haven't broken. I mean, I haven't broken. There's things I've done. I eat things sometimes that aren't the optimal. I eat cooked food when I'm in the States, and I don't even really. There's no guilt over that. But yeah, I have not had like the major spin out, 4+ years. And I credit that largely to my approach and not having this rigid, always, forever, always going to do this, never eat that, don't touch this, this is forbidden, this is horrible, this is great. I don't roll like that. And I think it's just really holding people back. In everything in life, we have to have an open mind. We have to have an open mind because there's always new information coming in. Okay, just think about it, like for people that are even close to my age, we remember vividly back before the internet. And once the internet came along, there was a whole lot of new information. Now, and I see that with some older people that are they're always, I'm not into the technology, I don't like this technology. Well, it's like I explain to my mom sometimes, and she understands it. She's not like anti-technology, but she's gotten on up there and she never did use a computer. So what I'm explaining to her is like, and she's interested in learning this and she thinks about it. I'm like, see, you don't use a computer, Mom, so you are missing, there's a lot of information. Like, you basically stopped in 1990. There's a lot of stuff out there. I said, we go to Google now. If we're sitting here having a conversation, we can go get this information. So what if all the people, about the time the internet started kicking and everybody's using it and everybody has computers, back even before the devices, all of a sudden we had this just huge, this vast library. This library bigger than any person 100 years ago could have ever imagined. I mean, we have knowledge at our fingertips. And we have a vast amount of knowledge at our fingertips. So to hone that down and only to take wisdom from very, very minute percentages of that knowledge is asinine to me. I mean, there's just too much stuff out there. Things are changing. The body's changing. I mean, hey, even 4 years into this lifestyle, I'm kind of always I'm prepared for still other changes to happen to my body. And for maybe some things I've been doing not to work anymore and to have to move on, because the body is a living, moving organism. It's not stagnant. It's not just, it's cleansing itself. If you've lived as dirty as I did for years, I know my body is still on some level, getting some of that gunk out. Now, I'm not a heavy detoxer like some of the people, so let's don't get into a conversation about detoxes and getting deep junk down, but you see what I'm saying there. But in the end, and I'm going to stop because I do feel like, since this one's a little bit more philosophy, I feel like I am rambling, but just have an open mind and be flexible. There's another tree, I just had a vision. That wasn't like any kind of divine vision or anything, but well, maybe it was. It includes a tree. I was watching something and somebody maybe shared it or whatever, and it's somebody might even watch that's in my network, but it was these palm trees. Maybe they're in Hawaii, and they were so crazy because these things are like this, and they go over and they almost touch the ground, and then they come back up and they go to the other side. But these trees are strong. These trees are strong, and they're strong because they're flexible. A lot of those trees that are rigid, just straight up and straight down, if a strong wind comes, what's it going to do? It's going to snap it because they have no bend. They have no flexibility with it. Same thing can happen in life. You miss out on things, and you can even potentially do harm to yourself if you just cling to ideas all the time without taking in new information, or just being open to new information and open to learning new things. Every day is a brand new day. Every day is an adventure, and there's something to learn every day. So be less rigid. Don't have so many rules. And to be less rigid, sometimes, and I'll finish off applying it to the food. Sometimes you need to eat a little cooked food to be a better raw vegan. In other words, what I'm saying is there's people that are always so, I've got to be raw, that they will hold on to the very end. And then they'll go way, way, way over here and eat something not only cooked, but horrid. When maybe if they had steamed them a little broccoli, had a sweet potato, whatever, they would have never gotten to over here. Okay, if you're fully raw and you believe raw is raw, you will have to at least agree with me there that eating that steamed broccoli or potato to keep you from getting over to here is a better thing. I mean, it's better to eat steamed broccoli and a potato than to eat, maybe even go back to eating animal products or whatever. But anyhow, just a rambling old man. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Love you guys. Peace.